Video brought to you by Morante Plumbing and Oil. Morante.
And we are back, Gmac and Winnie, coming at you with another edition of the Outlaw Blitz podcast. Big fella, let's get dangerous.
What's going on?
What's going on? Let's see. I've been on this Westerns kick for a while, this whole week.
You got the shirt on.
Oh, yeah, Tejas. And the 845, man.
Nice.
Yeah, well, with Val Kilmer dying, I went back and watched Tombstone. And, of course, that's one of the best, if not the best, probably one of the best. Probably one of the three best cowboy movies ever.
When I saw it, I'm like, wait a minute. I thought he died last year.
No.
He was just sick last year.
Correct.
And then that actually went back to when Maverick came out.
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, it's my first recollection of Val Kilmer in a movie was the movie Real Genius.
Yep. I probably Top Gun. Top Gun.
Oh, yeah. I would say the first big mainstream.
I think Top Gun was before.
Successful.
Or was that 86?
I think 86. And then people forget he was a Batman.
He was. He was in Entourage. He played Johnny Holmes in a movie, too.
Did he really?
Yeah, the Wonderland Murders.
No shit.
Yeah. Yep. Porn legend, Johnny Holmes, too.
Right.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Johnny Sins.
No. Yeah, Val Kilmer. I mean, what you talk about Hollywood good looks when he was younger. Jawline, great teeth, spiked blonde hair. Extremely good looking dude.
Yep.
Always had that tinge of dickhead to him.
Yeah, I think that was
the cockiness, whatever.
Yep. I loved a few years ago, SNL did parodies on Iceman that he was a commercial pilot, and that shit was hysterical. He's like, I'm Tom Kazansky. He goes, and he's doing the whole thing, flipping the pen, and he's clicking his teeth, everything that Ice did, but 20 years later in a comedic setting, and it was freaking hysterical.
No. Yeah, so that's been me. I went from Tombstone to True Grit to The Outlaw Josie Wales. I watched that this morning, believe it or not. And it's just, I don't know, I'm on this Western thing. But it made me think. So I hate when movies are inaccurate.
Okay.
And they come by, it's supposed to be during the Civil War. The ending of the Civil War, Outlaw Josie Wales. And they come by with a flag that's got it looks like the modern flag. I'm like,
really?
Wait a minute.
We didn't have that many
states yet.
Yeah.
Now, a normal person probably doesn't pick up on that because it's like a montage.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I just happen to see the flag go by, and I'm like, wait, what? That's like a 1970s flag, not a whatever.
It's like watching Titanic, the dude's wearing a G-Shock watch.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Where is that?
So, but that made me go down this little thing. When my grandmother went to kindergarten, there was 46 stars on the flag.
Damn.
When my parents went to kindergarten, there was 48 stars on the flag.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, think about
Do we have 50?
We have 50.
In kindergarten?
50. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it was 46 stars until 1912.
Okay.
And then they got two more states, which was New Mexico and Arizona.
And Hawaii and Alaska.
And then Hawaii and Alaska in 1959.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, but I'm saying generation.
Right.
My grandmother's 2 generations ago, right? So generation, my grandmother, 46. My mom and dad, 48. Me, 50. Who knows? If we take over Canada, Maybe Boston gets 51.
51, that'd be funny.
We need 2, though. Take Canada and Mexico, then we get 52. Good
North
solid.
America is all ours.
Yeah.
Then it becomes just America.
Yeah, just America.
That's cool.
Yep. So, we haven't just sat down and chopped it up for a little bit.
Yep.
I just figured might as well do something like that instead of top fives every week. And
What did your Cowboys do yesterday?
Joe Mitten?
Yeah, or Milton.
Milton.
Like it.
Dude can throw the ball 85 yards
cannon.
and like flat-footed.
Yeah.
You better take a hit.
Absolute cannon.
Yeah. Flat-footed. 85 yards, dude.
Dak should worry.
They said Dak start looking for you actually have a quarterback that can play now.
Yeah.
Because he got drafted last year, but he sat out because I think he might have had an injury. He was rehabbing. But he still got drafted in the draft.
Yeah. And then came in and played late in the year, one game. And it was just a small sample size, but to see what a freak athlete the kid is.
Yeah. And that's it. I mean, he
clearly such a low-risk pick. They traded a fifth for him.
That's the stuff Jerry does that I never mind.
Right.
Even Trey Lance. It costs you minimal dollars.
Right.
And if it pans out and you get a younger player, no, they're maybe they're not dead. They look dead at the start.
Oh, man. Oh.
Just leave the top off.
It's hovering in the fucking nostril. That's bad. Ooh.
You got to break up that clump in there.
Ugh.
That's the problem.
It's
that
rough.
clump. Maybe a cat came in here and shit in there. Yeah, no, they're not.
They're not as strong, but there's still something there.
Yeah, that second one I got. That one got to the eyes.
So,
shoo, that will wake you up.
Jerry Jones does some things. Well, listen, being a Jets fan and Woody Johnson, they're fucking terrible. But yeah, no, I think it's cool. Trey Lance he signed a contract to play in Canada, trying to revive his career because
why not play in the UFL?
Yeah, get more eyes.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like, look at what it did for who was it? AJ McCarron. He went out there and tore it up for them, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
I don't know. It's sports season. Football's not. The draft's not through the end of the month.
Torpedo bats. That's the hot topic.
There it is. And every crybaby fucking Mets fan crying about Yankees because we live in New York.
Lindor
uses one.
Right.
I'm so tired.
Alonso ordered a bunch. They just
here's what it is. You were jamming a guy he couldn't get his hands around. Now as a pitcher, he's using torpedo bat. I'm going to work the outside edge.
You're playing within the rules.
No, but I'm going to work away now.
Right.
Now you're going to hit the ball off the shitty part of the bat.
Right. Well, that's just it. And now pitchers adjust. It's a cat and mouse game. There's nothing different.
There's really not. Like that when it first came up, people were trying to, fucking Yankees are cheating. I go, there's no way Major League Baseball is allowing somebody to use a bat that's illegal.
Right.
Like I said, there's got to be a diameter rule. No, they took the wood and the diameter and moved it here and made it bigger. I'm like, no, they did not.
Right.
All they did was just took where the barrel was. This last 14 inches,
and shifted it down
and
a little
slid
bit.
It down like 4 inches towards the hand.
Right. And now pitchers start pitching outside or outer edge of the plate, and dudes start hitting off the end of the bat.
What they're saying the advantage is the bat feels lighter because the weight's not at the end.
The distribution.
It came down towards your hand a little bit more,
right.
So it feels like you can get it through quicker. But I don't know how, like you get more power with a hammer being at the bottom of it and hitting that full extension.
Well, listen.
Not being halfway up the grip. And then,
In 1985, when the average Major League fastball was 88 miles an hour, and now in 2025, when the average Major League fastball is 97 miles an hour.
Yeah.
A big difference.
Yeah, 40 years.
Yeah, shit changes. So
the radar guns could have updated too.
Yeah, but it's definitely a different game. You got guys that are spending. I had this conversation last night with one of our newbies who is on the swing from the LeBron nutsack, like most modern young kids are, and it translates to basketball too. is the game's not the same anymore.
No. If you
These
gave
guys are
Michael
spending-
Jordan lanes like that, he would have
Right.
dominated.
Or how many guys, Tom Brady, listen, in the offseason, these guys are spending $1 million or $2 million just on their body maintenance.
Yeah.
Where
Those
back
guys were
then-
selling cars.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They had jobs. It was not just not the same. So
Brady kind of transcends that time, though, because he was still there when they got fucked up and you could jam receivers and kill them over the middle.
right.
You know what I mean? He was like at the end of that and then played all the way.
Yeah.
But that's why he played till he was 40-something.
Right. 46.
You know what I mean? So it's like everything, society, like it goes back to 46 stars on the flag for grandma, 48 for them, 50 for us.
Right.
Things change.
Things are changing.
Things are changing. Big date this week for you. I gave you your gift off the air. What did you think?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. I watched it I don't know how many times. A shit ton. And yeah, I was like gonna go do laundry after we recorded last week and I was all fucked up. I had to go home and just relax because yeah, you know, Tuesday was the day. As this comes out next week, it'll be a week past. Yeah, it's a lot of support. That's the one thing that rang out, especially on social media, even on the Blitz page, on
Yeah, over 100 people.
Instagram and on YouTube, and then just on Facebook alone. Yeah, it feels good. Now, as we record this tomorrow, actually going my home group, we'll have my actual celebration, and I'll get my year coin, so that'd be pretty cool.
Nice. One down, however many to go.
Right?
However long we live to go.
Exactly.
You know? I was like, they were like, yo, what's Winnie do? Winnie got a PL on his, 1 year anniversary. What's he doing? I said, he's throwing a fucking kegger, man. What do you think he's doing?
We had dinner and binge watched The Love
The
Boat.
fucking Love Boat, dude. Like, that's
Bro,
the
it's
weirdest
so
text I've ever gotten.
awesome.
The Love Boat?
Oh, you forget how
The old one or the new one?
the
Didn't they
old
come out
one.
with a newer
they
one?
did in like '99, but no, the original. You forget how many awesome guest stars
They would just show up, right?
Milton Berle, Steve Allen.
Wait. You just said Milton Berle. You know the legend of Milton Berle?
Something's on a fucking hammer,
Oh,
right?
yeah, like a 13-inch cock.
Ugliest dude too,
Yeah.
so it makes sense.
Yeah, because everybody's like, you ever hear about? That's like all Hollywood. That's what they talk about.
The
Milton
Ryan,
Berle's
Ryan Pettit of ancient comedy.
Yeah. Why does he get smacked on body cam too?
Yeah, apparently.
So who else was on there? That was the
Uh,
one with Tattoo, right? Or was that Fantasy?
No, it's Fantasy Island. Captain Steuben, Gopher, Knock.
Yeah.
Julie.
What years did that show
Isaac.
run?
77 to 85.
So it was a
So it
long
had a
run.
run. Yeah, it
Had a
had a
run.
really good run.
And where the hell are you watching these on repeat?
What app are we? Are they
Are you on Pluto?
Prime? I think I'm sorry, Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus.
The Love Boat on
Yeah.
Paramount Plus. That
Yeah.
is wild.
Yeah, just again, the guest star Sandy Duncan. We're like, which eye is the fake one? So we had to debunk that myth. Honestly, she had an eye surgery in '72 for a tumor, and the eye didn't work, but the eye still moved, so they didn't remove it.
So it tracked.
It tracked, but it didn't. She couldn't see out of it. Yeah. So we're watching the show, staring at it like, oh, there it is, there it is.
It didn't move that time.
It didn't, yeah. So no, it's just a cool ass show. Now, if you look at it in modern day terms, Doc is a sexual predator.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he fucked.
Well, kind of like
multiple
Larry
women
at Three's Company.
Right.
Yeah.
Fucking multiple women on every cruise. They're all staying in his cabin.
Good.
Right.
That's what you do on cruises, right?
Isaac was the stereotypical black man of the ship, saying all the cool things, and
especially in the 70s, that had to be.
Yeah.
He had to say some real cool shit.
Oh
Yeah.
Jive turkey.
Yeah.
One of the funniest episodes with Jimmy Walker was
JJ
on.
Dynamite?
Oh, it was
Came on?
awesome.
Yeah.
So fucking funny. Yeah, that's when you look at it and you're like, man, we were blessed with comedy, with comedians back then. They were just so good.
Well, it was. You were freer.
Right.
You were freer. It wasn't so sensitive of a time.
Listen, there's a skit on, you can pull it up on YouTube now, from SNL with
Steve Martin and Richard Pryor, that one?
Chevy Chase and Richard Pryor when he's doing the job interview.
Oh, yeah.
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 Like, you ain't saying none of them words
Go
on modern day
look at
TV.
the Bad News Bears.
Right.
You ain't saying none of
Right.
that shit either.
I had to explain. Oh, we got a rabbit hole I ended up going down with Carly was Hot Lips was one of the guest stars.
Oh, yeah?
And Radar was on an episode.
Well, MASH was huge at the
Right.
time.
So with the Hot Lips, and I'm like, I didn't remember her right away.
So when they come on, are they a character or are they a version of themselves?
No, a character.
Okay.
Yeah, they're married to somebody else and they're going through their own thing, whatever. Josh Akabor, Charo. But with the Hot Lips, we ended up going down the MASH rabbit hole, and I had to tell her about the chicken episode.
Yeah.
And how
Shut that chicken up.
And how fucked up that made me.
Yeah.
That was
true, though.
It was terrible.
That's bad. But that's amazing writing at the time.
Right.
We don't... Shows
That's
aren't
PTSD
written...
before PTSD was PTSD.
Oh, yeah. Right. Because he ends up in a loony bin because of that. But a lot of shows aren't written well like that anymore.
Yeah.
But did you see Landman? Landman's on Paramount Plus.
Okay.
Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh, I'll have to check that out.
In Midland, Texas, and his daughter comes to visit him, and they go to a Permian Panthers.
That's fucking awesome. Nice little homage.
Right back to the mojo.
Nice little homage. That's cool.
Black uniforms, white helmet, P on the side.
Nice.
Yeah. And you know who his wife is?
Connie Britton?
No.
Ooh.
Ali Larder.
No shit.
Whipped cream bikini chick, and is still a smoke show.
Yep.
You never seen Landman?
No.
So
it's a It's a
show.
show.
It's a series.
I'll have to check it out now.
So she's like, his daughter shows up on a plane to see him.
Ali Larder is what, his wife?
His wife.
God bless him.
And his daughter, who's like, senior in high school, smoke show, shows up and with this extremely tall, good looking, handsome, he's like, Jesus Christ, I want to fuck him. He's like, Are you guys being safe? She goes, Yes, Daddy, we follow the rules. He goes, I'm going to shoot myself for asking you this, but what are the rules? She goes, Well, we have a rule. As long as he doesn't come in me, he can come anywhere on me.
This is said on the
on
show.
the show. And Billy Bob Thornton goes, What the fuck? I'm going to go get a Dr. Pepper. Do you fucking want one?
I can picture him saying this shit too.
Dude, I can't. Landman is amazing.
That's
it's on Paramount.
I'm going to check that out now. We were talking about TV back then having all those shows had those one episode of super seriousness.
Oh yeah.
So you had
Different
the
Strokes.
chicken, Different Strokes was what, the drug?
The bike. No, the bike. Where the guy molested the friends.
That's
friends
right.
at the bike.
That's right.
Yeah.
I forget what Family Ties was when the kid got killed.
Yeah.
Joey
on Blossom. Joey with the brother overdosed, the oldest brother.
Yeah.
And Joey with the dirty books. And he was laying under the bed.
Yeah.
And the dad found all the porn books.
Yeah. But
they always had serious.
Yeah, on the family after Edith died.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when his dad. Why doesn't he want me? Remember?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Those moments. Yeah, but they had to be. It can't be all comedy all the time. It had to relate in some capacity.
And those are the ones that, when you look back at momentous moments on these shows, that's what those are. I mean, you can remember all the comedy ones. They run one into the next, but those stand out.
Yeah, you get that standalone one. You're like, "Ooh, this is a," and then they're probably the ones that are the best episodes.
Yeah, really good movie we watched last weekend. The Life List.
It was so good. Winnie forgot the name.
Yeah, the premise is Connie Britton's.
Who's Connie Britton?
The mom from Friday Night Lights.
Okay. The show.
Always hot.
And the movie.
And the movie. She's dying of cancer. She dies. They go and they do the...
Spoiler alert.
That's not the main... Yeah, there's no real spoiler there. They go and they do the reading of the will. And the one brother gets this. The other brother gets this. The daughter-in-law gets this business that the actual daughter thought she was going to get. And then the mother does this video and says, basically, you're throwing your life away. You made this life list back when you were a teenager, and I want you to complete it. And once you complete it, you'll get your inheritance. So she goes through it, and some of it was like, okay, you could see like this is something like a 13-year-old kid made, but she still did it. One of them was playing one-on-one with the New York Knicks. She's like, how the fuck am I going to accomplish this? Well, she ends up finding herself at this big gala thing, and who happens to be there? Patrick Ewing. They have a conversation. She's having this big benefit. He comes out, play one-on-one with Patrick Ewing for $10,000. So she manages to check things off. The biggest one was Find True Love, obviously. It's a fucking movie. The way they went through the list, and every time she completed a task, she'd go to the lawyer. The lawyer would give her another DVD. DVD would be another video recorded by the mother saying, okay, if you've gotten this DVD, then congratulations.
You've gotten this far.
You did this, right. and good, and now here's your next one. It was a good watch. And we watched that after watching two horrendously fucking depressing movies. So
called.
The one was Kate Winslet was a photographer during World War II. And come to find out, she was supposed to have all of her shit published in Vanity Fair in Europe. They never published it. They sent it over, and the U.S. published it later on. The son didn't know anything about what his mother did for a living. She dies. He's going through the house and finds all these photos in the attic, and they basically go through her life. And she was a real person. All these photos were legit. They were from wartime. And talk about impactful shit. They're in wartime Germany. There's a train stopped on the tracks, and they pull up. They want to take pictures. And like, what is that fucking smell? They were all gagging. And they slid the...
move your mic.
No,
yeah.
They're all gagging, and they slid the door open and stacked bodies.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy shit. Like, it's another impactful thing, but super, like,
You don't remember the name of that one?
I can look while if we had computers in our hands.
And what streaming service was that on?
Netflix.
Netflix?
Yeah,
And it's newer?
Netflix.
Newer?
Yeah. Yep. And then we got to the movie and saw The Black Bag. Got in the movies. It's Kate Blanchett and I don't even know who the fucking guy was. Super, like, highbrow espionage type shit. In all honesty, I fell asleep, missed 20 minutes of it, so it just wasn't.
Well, them seats are comfortable, especially if you get the heater on them.
Oh, fuck yeah, absolutely.
Not out. Took a $30 nap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're not cheap, that's for damn sure. So, yeah, no, just watching a shit ton. Lee is the name of the movie.
Lee.
Lee, yep.
Yeah.
2023. Definitely a good watch. Yeah, what was the other one? I gotta think.
Your mic's not picking you up again.
Again? Yeah.
I'm telling you, I think it's your cord or Scratch and Dent Sal's fucking board.
Scratch and Dent Sal board, probably.
Yeah. We had this conversation a couple weeks ago, just loosely.
Mm-hmm.
The 90s were so full of fucking loud colors and ugly clothes.
Yeah.
But their best movies were all drab and not almost colorless. They didn't have all these bright colors. Think about it. Rudy, Hoosiers, Tombstone.
The way things are...
Shawshank Redemption.
Right.
It's all like washed out looking.
That's the way like this Lee was shot. You could see... Like Kate Winslet always thought she was gorgeous, but now she's older.
50.
Yeah. Now the way they shoot the movie, it's like all those filters are stripped and you're looking at a woman who is aging.
Yeah.
And it's just, I think it makes it so much more impactful.
Yeah. There's a new movie coming out next week. So as this episode comes out, it should be out, called Warfare. And it's A24.
Right.
And they say, like, veterans are coming out there and they're saying this is the closest to war. And it embodies, like, the brotherhood, but it embodies real-time war, too. So.
Yeah, the Hurt Locker fucked me up. So
no, we're taking you to IMAX to see this thing with
God.
me. Yeah.
Actually, another good one was The Last Showgirl. And that was in the movies for a short time. Now it's on streaming, but you got to pay for it currently. But it was worth the $10 or $12. Pamela Anderson, Jamie Lee Curtis, Dave Bautista, and
That's 6 nice tits right there.
yeah, Pamela Anderson is the last showgirl. So she's been a showgirl in Vegas for the last 20-something, 30 years. And the show she's performing on is closing. And she's at a crossroads in her life. What do I do?
Right.
And she is in her 50s. She wears very little to no makeup the entire movie, except for when she's performing. Jamie Lee Curtis, same thing with Jamie Lee Curtis. You're like, fuck, she's looking pretty ragged, but you realize that's part of the character she's playing. Real true life, real gritty. The best acting performance of her career by far. She's never been known to be a phenomenal actress, but there's talk of her actually getting nominated for some awards for her performance in this.
Pam Anderson doesn't wear makeup anymore.
Right.
Period.
Right.
In real life.
I've seen.
Yeah, and I remember seeing her on like maybe Drew Barrymore show or something like that, and she's just like, listen, I was always, I guess sexualized in whatever capacity on TV, the Tool Time girl, the Binford Tools chick she was.
That's right.
Then she was the Pabst Blue Ribbon girl. Then
Then Baywatch.
Baywatch, and then
Barbed Wire.
Tommy Lee and Pamela's.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to see that video, but she was the hot item, and she was like,
she got beat with a bat for about 10 years during that relationship.
That dude's got a hammer on him.
Yeah.
But she said, at some point, when do you strip down to what you are and stop putting on the persona?
Right.
And I don't blame anybody that does that stuff.
No, I think a lot of what that movie was like art mirroring life.
Yeah.
Which made it really good. There was a poignant part where she hasn't accepted her fate yet. So she's going on another audition. And she's got all the makeup on. She's like, I'm 36. She's like, no, I'm lying. I'm 42. And the audition goes terrible. And at the end, she's like, fuck you, I'm 57. It's like...
Well, because they lie to themselves. Like,
right.
I got to be younger. That's the only way I'm going to get this show, this whatever.
Yeah.
Do you think... this is extremely narcissistic of me to ask and say. Do you think that we've had to be so reserved in our entire lives that that's what drives us to do this show and go out, maybe do our tour over the summer? Because we can't be who we want to be every day. And we couldn't for, like, when you're finding yourself, we haven't had that luxury because at those ages where you're really starting to become who you are, we couldn't express ourselves appropriately. And now we're waiting for the opportunity to have the freedom to express ourselves however we want. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, no, I don't think it. No, because I think it's healthy to need an outlet. Or to have that outlet.
I know this is our outlet.
It's not. I don't think it's egotistical or anything like that.
But do you think there's a part of us that? Well, let's just say this: if we both didn't have to report to work tomorrow,
right?
Which, as of today, I would not have to if I don't want to.
Right.
Right? So as of today, I have that luxury to move on.
Yeah.
It's very freeing mentally. If we didn't have to report where we went, how much better do you think this becomes?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the irony in this statement, the handcuffs are off.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then you can truly be a version of yourself that you haven't been able to be for over 2 decades.
Right, because you're showing 70% of yourself, not the whole 100.
Right, but what I'm saying is, we're in the flip side in that movie with that lady.
Right.
that's what she was, and that's all she knew what to be like.
Correct.
Right, you know what I mean?
And like the other part of the movie was she sacrificed a relationship with her daughter because of that career. She chose to pursue that, and that's what defined her,
Right.
and that's what cost her the relationship with her child.
You realize like Gene Hackman didn't get into acting till he was 46.
That's amazing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and then think of the career you
wild.
feel that guy had,
Yeah.
But not till 46.
Yeah.
You know, so like there's time to still.
Like I can't compare the two because there's no really comparison. But like I said, Dave Bautista, he didn't get into wrestling until his mid-30s, which didn't put him into acting until his mid-40s.
Yeah.
So he's just hitting his stride as an actor in his mid-50s.
Right. So he shortened the window on himself dramatically, especially in that role.
Right.
In Hollywood.
Right. Yeah, and then now you're trying to take...
Does he still look like a woman?
He
got so thin and had like pearl earrings. He looked very fat.
Yeah, no, he was definitely thinner in this movie. With weird hair.
He looked like a tranny very recently.
Yeah, no, I saw that. I don't know if that was for a role or he was trying to lean out or what the story was. But yeah, he was dressing super weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you look at, I mean, you got to take that. Now you're coming from an industry where people definitely have you pigeonholed into one way, and you've got to break that mold and prove that you can be more than just a fucking guy who rolls around with another guy in tights.
Oh yeah.
So now you're looking at John Cena, you're looking at The Rock, and the stuff they're doing. Batista's honestly has taken on more meteors, harder roles than either of those two. It doesn't really get the credit for it.
Cena's hilarious.
He's a comedian for sure. Yeah. But if you look at...
And The Rock's an action star.
Yeah. But if you look at Batista and M. Night Shyamalan, The Cabin in the Woods, I think it was, that was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And the persona, like he was like big on that in that movie. It was like 300 pounds still. But being a dude that was like in a cult, and it was if you haven't seen it, it's twisted.
Yeah. It's
twisted. But to go from that to go to a now much older, skinnier, Las Vegas showgirl production manager is essentially what he played in this movie. Doesn't really know anything else but that life.
Yeah.
So you see depth of character. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's so not funny, but it's you talked about a movie and it just spun off like how life really. That's truer to life than anything. You know what I mean? Like that guy only knows how to put on showgirl stuff. The woman only knows how to be the showgirl.
Right.
You know. And that's like their livelihood. They're always pretending to be younger, trying to stay younger.
Listen,
younger.
Even in the job that you and I work in, how many times have we've had the conversation about people that retire, and you're like, well, he's wanted to be that for his entire life. What the fuck's he gonna do now?
Right. Well, yeah, that's all they are.
That's all they are. That's they've become that.
Yep.
And they don't know anything else. So, I think in that aspect, we're blessed. Because we do have this.
Yeah. We have outlets and we have other things, but we were coaches. We were, many other things beyond, our career path.
Yeah.
It's weird where the podcast world takes you sometimes, I was listening to one with Joey Diaz and Bert Kreischer the other day, and Bert was like, this is what I'm going to do. That you can hear them. They're all getting to the end of like their careers. They're getting to the end of they're getting to the end of the road. Bert Kreischer's an empty nester now. Both his daughters are in college. So now I love being on the road, but now I can take my wife because now we have the freedom to go see all this cool shit.
Right.
Because she doesn't have to be there for the kids.
Right.
Joey Diaz, on the other hand, he's like, man, I'm 60 fucking years old, man. I don't want to be doing this stuff all the time. He goes, I don't want to be out on the road. I don't want to raise my kid like where I'm not home. I see her Tuesday and Wednesday and I don't see her again.
Yeah.
So like you catch it on all different levels of life and where it got you and where it gets you.
I think of Joey Diaz, and I still think of that story
Which one?
with the girl in the crowd, the $20.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I want my $20. Yeah, he's an amazing storyteller.
Oh,
Amazing.
yes.
Like if I were a very good writer, I would try to write a Joey Diaz movie, but like a serious one. Not, comedy could be part of it, but like almost like a dramedy,
Yeah.
because that dude's got stories for days.
No, it does.
And he's a very phenomenal storyteller. He kidnaps somebody, you know what I mean? He says some really wild shit.
Yeah.
And he's like Jersey, fucking hardcore New Jersey guy, So that's this type of stuff that interests me right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that gritty Tommy DeSico, coming on and being interviewed. That's the stuff that interests me. That's why we started this, really.
Right.
Like, how many times do you think, like when we interviewed Stephen Piercy, that dude's talked about sex, drugs, and rock and roll a million fucking times.
Right.
How many times did he talk about drag racing?
Yeah.
Once.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the showgirl probably talked about her routine, Vegas, whatever, a million times. How many people asked her, what's your favorite movie? Whatever.
Right.
What kind of car do you like? What was your dreams when you were young? None
right.
of that
you
shit.
You become that character that you play.
Right. How many times you think Luke, how many times you think Mark Hamill hears Luke Skywalker shit?
Yeah. How tiring does it get?
Right.
Yeah, and then you got to walk that fine line of appreciation and nausea.
Right.
Because you hear it so much, you're like, what the fuck? I've done more in my life than just be Luke Skywalker. But
what if you're this person's hero?
You've affected, so many people because of that character.
Right. You don't know what that guy went through and what your character made that person overcome.
Right.
And you're like, yo, fuck off, dude. I'm just getting some groceries. And that now, don't meet your heroes. Don't meet Bob Backlund.
Don't meet Ric Flair.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Disappointed.
I heard a hilarious fucking thing. I sent it to you the other day. Scott Van Pelt was on, and he was having the bubble guts on ESPN.
Like literally on air?
On air. He was like bubbling bad. And he's like, I don't know if he goes, listen. He goes, Mark Schlereth stink. He's like, if I cut to you quick, it's because I just shit my pants. And Mark Schlereth told him, listen, you just got to go throw some leaves in the gutter. You'll be all right. And he's like, leaves in the gutter? What the fuck are you talking about, leaves in the gutter? He goes, go tear up a whole bunch of toilet paper and stuff it in your boxers. And then when you sit down, it's just leaves in the gutter. It won't let the gutter empty.
Unclog. That's pretty good.
So I heard that, and I'm like, that's the new term, leaves in the gutter. Yeah.
Yeah. I've needed leaves in the gutter a few times.
Oh, dude, there's been times. Now we can't do it because we're recording like video.
Right.
How many times back in the day did we used to have to pause this so that we could go and come back? Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
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 You scumbag spray.
Yeah, because the bathroom used to be just over your shoulder from where we recorded.
I'd be shitting like in that corner away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You nasty fuck.
Yeah. So I saw that. That was funny. And then the other thing I saw, have you ever or seen, my English is terrible, Dan Soder do Macho Man?
I don't know.
No? Let me see.
I've seen Will Sasso do a bunch of his.
I'm telling you, Soder does it better than anybody. Let me see if I can.
Sasso does good Jesse Ventura. Good Steve Austin.
Here you go. Let's see what you think.
Seen a lot of the material.
Lost my grandmother. She slowly wilted away. Yeah, like an apple left outside off the tree.
That's fucking good.
It's money, isn't it?
That is definitely money.
He does it all the time. You know Soder? He's in some movies, but he's a stand-up comedian. Yeah. He's amazing. He does some really good ones.
Awesome.
Yeah. Macho Man is really good though.
Yeah. The campiest shit I've seen was that Young Rock.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it had to have been meant to be that way because it was pretty fucking bad.
It was, but you know what I think it meant is like how he saw it as a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like these guys were, but in the 80s, those guys were action hero. Like
Right.
they were like
But
cartoonish.
it's like they almost purposely miscast people in that show.
Maybe.
Like the guy that played his father. Actually, if you watch the show, it puts Rocky Johnson in a terrible light.
Well, it's probably an honest light.
It could be.
You know what I mean?
But it's the life of that fucking...
That show's over now, right?
Yeah. 70s, 80s carny huckster.
Yeah.
Fucking kayfabe wrestler.
Yeah.
But the dude they had playing the Iron Sheik was... Actually, he was kind of funny. But
Iron Sheik was funny.
It's hysterical, yeah.
Was funny, yeah.
Sheiky baby.
Did you ever watch Big Bang Theory?
Yeah.
And then Young Sheldon?
Didn't watch that show.
Young Sheldon was very good. Now they're coming off with a Big Bang Theory spinoff back in present time with Stewart, I think it is. One of them.
You know.
It's not the main cast. It's all like the subcast is all in it. So that's, you think about it, of our time, that's probably one of the biggest shows of the last 20 years.
It's weird. Mayim Bialik was Blossom to us.
Yeah.
And then whatever character she had on Big Bang Theory.
Amy Farrah Fowler.
That was her name?
Yeah.
Not very attractive, but now she's at a point in life where she's kind of hot.
Yeah. There's an episode, though, where Kaylee Cuoco, who is
Smoke Show.
Penny, is like, where what's her name comes out first. Walowitz's wife comes out and she's like, "Oh, here we are in an outfit from Baby Gap," and she goes, "And here comes Amy in Forever 47."
Forever 47.
She had like brown slacks on, shitty colors, just always, but she was always subdued dressed. She was never dressed to be.
Yeah.
But then you see her like hosting these shows, and you're like, Jesus.
Yeah, she's not bad. She I know for a while people were like criticizing or commenting on her because she had like a very unique, controversial parenting style.
Yeah, where a kid slept in the bed with her.
Yeah,
all that type of shit.
Yeah, it was kind of different. But Johnny Galecki, that dude's had a career.
Yeah, from
he's been
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation,
right, to Roseanne. Yeah, he's
back to the Connors.
Yeah,
I think at one point.
Yep.
Big Bang Theory. He was on Entourage a little bit. Yeah. A lot of them guys. Kaylee Cuoco, she was on 10 Simple Rules to Dating My Teenage Daughter with John Ritter.
That's right.
And then he died.
Right.
And then David Spade came in as the uncle that lived there, where Katie Seagal was the wife.
Right.
That was a decent show.
Right, it was.
And then
another one, Smoke Show.
Yeah.
The older she gets, the hotter she is.
But even as Peg Bundy young, she was hot.
Yeah.
And listen, think of that. Redhead, leopard print, tits pushed up, Smoke Show with Al Bundy. Right? Hair down, biker bitch, Smoke Show, and Sons of Anarchy,
yes,
right?
Absolutely.
What is she now? What was she just in recently?
She wasn't something recently. What the fuck was it?
But it's always like she was Gemma in Sons of Anarchy, right? So like you see her and she's like, she continues to be this, she's definitely like, maybe, I don't know, maybe that's too much. I was gonna say Sophia Loren, like that version, that she's considered gorgeous across multiple decades.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. You go back to look at the 80s comedy to early to mid 2000s biker show to
something very recently. She was in.
If
only we had a computer in our hands.
If I had a computer in our hands. Yeah.
What else is going on, buddy?
Oh, looking forward to possibly going to Wildwood by myself for a weekend. First weekend in May.
Oh, she was in Shameless too.
Katie Seagal?
Yep.
As what?
Wasn't she in Shameless as one of Frank's girlfriends?
Was she really? I'd have to go back and watch.
Yeah.
Yep. That's actually a show I haven't rewatched. That's kind of time to maybe do that.
Yeah, I mean, every time you think it couldn't get more fucked up, it got more
I'll get more
fucked up.
fucked up.
Yeah.
Him cutting off
What's her name's
fucking toe.
Yeah.
Who has bombs, by the way? Super hot now.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was creepy because you liked her and she was like 11 when the show started.
Stop.
I'm not saying you liked her when she was 11, but by
Right.
the end of the show, you were like, yo, that fucking redhead, man.
Yeah, she definitely grew up.
Yeah.
Fiona, you haven't heard shit from her
No.
in Hollywood.
Well, no, she was on another show. Well, you figure Lip did the Bear.
Right. Oh, what's his name? Which is a phenomenal show.
Liam, the redheaded one. He was in a couple movies.
His husband on the show there, Nikki.
Oh, he was in Gotham.
Really?
Yeah.
It was Nikki, right? The
Yeah.
fucked up family?
Yep.
He was just in another fucking awesome show that's also on Netflix, Running the Point.
Yes.
Kate Hudson.
I'm watching it. Yep.
Yeah. Have you gotten to the point where Nikki makes his guest appearance?
No.
He hooks up with the gay brother.
Oh, yeah.
And he ties him up in the fucking house, in the apartment, and then robs him. So, the fucking dude, tell me that dude.
Oh, she was in Roseanne, and she plays, I think, Darlene's daughter.
Okay.
The redhead.
Yes,
her name
she
is
does.
Emma Kenny.
Yeah. Tell me the dude in Running the Point is not supposed to be Jason Williams.
Oh, of course it is.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's supposed to be about the Lakers. It's supposed to be about Jeannie Buss.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. Yep.
Kate Hudson does a great fucking job. Great
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, I liked when she dated A-Rod because we won the World Series.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's TV in general has gotten
Bro, I don't have cable.
campy.
Yeah, I don't have
You
cable.
watch Landman, there's no campiness to this.
That's awesome.
I'm telling you.
I don't have cable. I don't have anything that would be considered a normal TV service, and I don't until football season. I only pick
won't either.
I only pick up YouTube TV to watch the Jets. I don't give a fuck about
All the other shit.
yeah.
I tell you what, I have a habit. In the morning, I watch the news while I'm getting ready, 10, 15 minutes,
Right.
maybe. And then the afternoon, right when I get home, I'll watch the news like 5 o'clock. Other than that, I don't want to watch it because it poisons your mind almost.
Right. It's whatever the
My life is much better when I don't look at
current
that.
state of media is in this country and in
Yeah.
the world in general.
So big weekend. What's the plan for your? How I don't know if you've sat in one of these before. Like what's
Yeah, we just had that one last weekend.
what's like the order of events or what happens?
It's just a regular meeting, but at the beginning, whoever's going to be presenting,
Do you know who's presenting you your stuff?
whoever you want to ask. Like I technically have a sponsor. Kevin and I don't really do a lot together, and he's been away a lot. His mom lives in Florida. She's elderly. His wife's from the Philippines. They were there. His kids live in Texas. They were there. So I haven't really been working the steps a lot like I need to be. But it could be him. It could be Russ because
He's the one that got you in originally.
right. So one of the two probably, I would imagine. And yeah, there's always food. I know Russ was ordering a couple cakes to celebrate.
How many people are you expecting for you being there?
I don't know. I don't count. Russ is always there, so I don't really count him. Carly's going maybe 3 or 4, which is fine.
No, I was just
Yeah.
wondering. I don't know how this stuff works,
Right.
so I'm just.
You can't take, and obviously it's Alcoholics Anonymous, so it's like there's photo ops.
Yeah.
But no, it's cool. So I'll get up and I'll be expected to say something, which is fine, and then probably close out the meeting with the Serenity Prayer. And then I'll pick a topic. I'll pick the topic for the meeting, and then it's always a round robin. People
What do they
talk about
usually
it.
last, like an hour or something?
Hour. Yep. Yeah, everything's an
And
hour.
it starts at what time?
12.
12. Yeah, man, I'm proud of you, dude. Like it's a big accomplishment. When you started, I just said, I think I said to you, it's like, I don't know about tomorrow or next week or whatever, but today you're good.
Yeah,
Just
that's
keep
it.
doing today.
One day at a time. It's there's so many cliches that
The
come,
further you get from it, I think
that come along with
the
it.
easier it got. Right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then listen, there's still days and there's still triggers that listen, I know what they are and I just avoid them. There's places I don't go because
That's all
it's
you
just
did
not
at
good
that
for
point.
me, right? Yeah. Like I've had Buffalo Wild Wings
Well, you haven't gotten in.
once or twice since then, but I've never sat down in there and had dinner since then. I ordered takeout once or twice and picked it up in Big Feet. But that was a hangout. That was my spot. So it's why would
Yeah, fuck our Super Bowl party for the rest of life.
No, I think at this point I'm far enough.
I'm not even
removed to be
taking the
able to do
chance.
that.
I'm not even taking the chance.
But I wouldn't.
What happens when we go on like a road show? Dude, I'm the best sober because I don't care about drinking.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't even really think about it like that. Like even last year, the only times that I've really, really almost considered picking up was like real stressful shit. But again, even with that, it was like, the fuck's that gonna solve? It's just gonna make a bad situation worse.
And
a
that's
lot of
called
it is-
maturing.
Yeah, and a lot of it is what got you here.
Right.
To begin with, I wouldn't be in these situations if I didn't do what I did.
Right.
So, yeah, the smell, honestly, now the smell, where the fuck was I recently? And
like a bowling alley or something?
Yeah, that's what it was. Actually, it was Macklin's 40th.
By the way, did you see the thing I sent you today?
I haven't
with Dale Earnhardt Jr.?
No, I haven't looked at anything yet.
Okay, you keep talking. I'm going to pull it up.
Yeah, Macklin's party. Yeah, we had fun bowling and shit, and people were drinking, but honestly, the fucking smell, the smell of cheap beer, it was like,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't just want to be around it.
All right, so here you go.
Oh, man, you've never seen a man put on a hat like this and have his ears inside? When I see somebody do that, I'm like, man, I can't trust them.
Oh, that's awesome.
It must be a Gen X thing.
That's fucking funny.
Yeah.
Now, I haven't noticed if he still does it.
He does.
Does he?
Yeah. I love that dude.
Yeah.
He dresses wild, though.
He's selling me his
Xbox?
His Switch.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So you have something to play MLB on?
Yeah. And that, at a good price, too, because the new Switch is coming out, I think, June 5th.
That dude don't sit down long enough to play games.
No, he bought it for his girlfriend. She played it twice.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, I need a system. Like, you want to sell it? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. So we came up with something. And,
nice.
Yeah.
Good for you, buddy.
That's the only thing I'm missing right now is I've been watching videos of other people playing it.
Yeah, Boston said his timing's off on this year's. He's late on everything.
Oh, shit.
Where he used to be perfect all the time.
Yeah.
So.
Have you gone to any local baseball events?
No, nothing. He's not playing, so
yeah.
But speaking of local baseball,
so yeah, how did that come up?
I asked how his shoulder was doing. I asked his mom how his shoulder. I asked Kristen. I said, "How's his shoulder doing?" She said, "Good. He's rehabbing it." I said, "Is he doing surgery?" And then Boris, I get back. Boris said we should do surgery now. Don't worry about so that he's healthy enough to play by, whatever. She goes, but then the team and the coach called, whatever. And I'm like, you mean Scott Boris? Is he going to be his agent? She goes, he is his agent. And then she's like, it's crazy. Like, what a whirlwind. Like, what are we talking about here, basically, I'm trying to think of the guy she said they were on the phone with talking to E. Matt Holliday.
No,
talking, you know what I mean? And I'm like, it's real. It's real for this kid. Like, some of these guys are telling him, like, dude, you got to get your body right so that you could go play. You're going to play. He, he's determined to be a first-round pick.
Well, what's funny is Ethan Holiday is the number one right now. He'll be the number one pick this year.
He was 10th on that
Who?
list? Conrad. Came out on the Golden Spikes.
Okay, he was
mid-season.
last I saw was 20. When I saw it, he debuted at like 23. Ethan Holiday is number one. Jackson Holiday, who's now with the Orioles, was also number one overall pick. But Matt Holiday, Eric Sims been on their show. They've been on his on YouTube because the Holidays have their own baseball facility too.
Oh,
So,
really?
Yeah. So I wonder. So I'm guessing then that Ethan Holiday is going to be a. It's funny they're both Ethans. Is also a Scott Boras guy.
I guess.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
Damn.
Good for the kid, man.
He was raking until the injury.
Yeah, he. I don't know. I think he laid out for a ball or something, just the way
Right.
his arm went. But
I'm interested to see what his numbers are. No, and I don't mean stats.
draft day will have to be like because
Yeah, the numbers. Like the
hopefully he ends up with the Yankees so his mom can still do his laundry.
Yeah, like 70 grade is the top number you can have.
I don't know how it works.
And he was like 50, 55 on pretty much everything, which put him in the
Top.
upper echelon. But yeah, I'm interested to see where he grades out after this season because
He's got power numbers. He's hitting extra bases.
right, that's the thing. You take a kid who's a big kid to begin with. You look at
But what's crazy is he led the fucking Cape in steals,
right.
but then they don't let him run.
Right. So what's his
It's
game?
styles, right? I would imagine.
Yeah, what's his game going to be at the next level? Because, listen, doubles and gap power with the right workout program turns into 40 home runs.
Yeah.
So what are you going to be?
Or is he a 25 home run guy but steals bases?
And that's probably going to determine where he plays at the next level.
Right.
If he's going to be using his legs, he's probably going to be an outfielder.
Which he is now.
Right. If they're going to look to convert him into more of strictly a power bat who doesn't run a lot, he's probably going to be a first baseman.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
but
time will tell, man.
it's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild to have a local kid that's doing that.
Chasing his dream, man. That's it. Just sticking to the program.
Is he going back to the Cape this summer?
I don't believe so, no.
No.
No, because he's
Oh, if he gets drafted.
so high. He's high enough up there.
If he gets drafted, he'll be reporting to minor league camp.
Yeah, so he doesn't have to go.
Right. Which is crazy because last year he goes from Marist to Little Old Stallions to, by the end of the summer, he's the All-Star Game MVP, transferring to a high Division I program.
Yeah.
So
Top 10.
It's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Does he have an NIL deal you can buy?
Yeah, you can buy his gear
jersey,
if you
right?
go on. Yeah, you just got to, if you follow him on Instagram, I think it's Ethan Conrad 23.
Yeah.
You can buy his jersey and stuff, and then my NIL deal goes back to him.
That's pretty cool.
So that's cool. If you're in that area, especially if you're in the Wake Forest
Right.
area, buy
Listen,
some of
if
his
he-
stuff.
if he
You
ends
can
up-
buy it online, though, and help him out, too.
If he ends up a true top 10 pick, he's looking at a multi-million-dollar signing bonus. Like, this
Yeah.
is life-changing shit here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that's one of those things, like, what do you do?
Right.
Do you get the money front end, or do you rehab yourself, go a little bit lower in the draft, and get the money back end when you get,
Right.
get up there?
I think any organization that is going to look at what the injury is, which is nothing severe.
Yep.
I'm talking a broken bone
It's not even broken.
or
It's just
microfracture.
I think
of
it's
a
more.
bone,
I
right?
think it's more like a bruise. Socket type.
Yeah.
Thing. Yeah.
Let it rehab, let it fix whatever they need to do with it, and keep it moving. He didn't blow a knee out. He doesn't need TJ.
No.
So
Yeah. Let's say more shit to
Yeah.
jinx him with.
Well, he ain't a pitcher,
Jesus
so-
Christ.
he's not pitching anymore, right?
No, he's not pitching. So. Nope.
So
Dude, see, I told you we didn't need anything. Hour mark on the dot.
nice.
You got anything else?
No, what do you got going on this weekend? Anything? Weather's supposed to suck again. Today's supposed to be the nicest day.
The first round of the RC Super Dirt Series type thing is
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Are you going up?
I don't know. I'm looking at the car, seeing how it's setting. We'll see. Shu got a ride. Some dude bought him a brand new ride to drive in the big block race tomorrow.
What?
Yeah.
No shit.
So we'll see. I don't know. I told you I went up there last year, and
Yeah.
people have bins of tire combinations, and it's hard to compete with that
That's absurd.
when you're only racing sporadically.
Right.
You know, you get me to that short track that I went to,
Yeah.
and get me up there maybe once or twice where I can. That's different. That brings, just like in real, more money, bigger track. You know, like more time.
Right.
Shorter track, you can kind of get it done.
Yeah.
So,
You
we'll
break
see.
in motors and a glass of water or something.
Yeah.
Crazy
Yeah, that's
shit
it.
people do.
Other than that, I don't know. We'll see.
All
I
right.
may end up at some guy's 100th, birthday episode.
Nice.
Bring us home, buddy.
All right, for Gmac, this is Winnie. This has been the Outlaw Blitz podcast, and as always, take it easy.
That did not